Tony, Houston came in with the nation's top-ranked defense and appeared to play well at that end today. What makes them so hard to break down at that end?
I think they're physically tough and mentally tough. We talk a lot about in games like this and really at this level, that's just the entry level, playing hard with your heart, trying to be physical. But the separator is, are you willing to be as rock solid mentally and refuse to have breakdowns? We got some open looks, missed some shots, but they're gonna make you work. You're gonna have to take care of the ball. They're gonna be in front of you. They're physical young men, and they made some plays. But again, you can see why defensively they're tough. I thought early on the emotion, perhaps defensively, we were right. We were guarding, and where it cost us on the converse was I can live with missed shots. You say all that, but like where we had some breakdowns defensively. Just anytime a good team you break down, they made us pay. Whether it was just we fell asleep, we helped up, we didn't help a guy out in the coverage we were supposed to help, and that's where you got to be willing to go there to win a game like this. Be so mentally sound on the defensive end, and that was the part where I think we can learn from and grow from. But that's what makes Houston, tough-minded defensively. When they struggle to score, they can still do it. Now today, they obviously took advantage of our breakdowns and scored, and the young man Walker, as a freshman or a first year, some of the timely shots he made and the different kinds of shots, and then with their physical tough guard play, you can see why they've had such a good year so far.
Tony, where was Rhys physically? Was he 100%? What did you think of the way he played?
No, he wasn't 100%, and he didn't practice a whole lot. He didn't have his burst. Now, some of that's their defense, right? He couldn't quite get by him, but not many can just get by those guys. But he didn't quite have quite his burst. I thought he was pretty good defensively, not quite as explosive offensively, and probably a little fatigued because he hasn't done much. He's had maybe he had about 2/3 of a practice yesterday and maybe a third of it the day before, and the rest has been more rehab and just seeing how he felt. And he was functional, and the doctors did a great job getting him to this point. And so, we weren't sure we were going to have him, but I thought he played some pretty good defense, obviously, on those guys, and we needed that part, but was a little, maybe 75, 80%, who knows.
Tony, after Kihei's steal, layup,
Yeah.
and then you guys force a turnover, do you think you have a good shot at pulling off a comeback?
Yeah, we had an in-and-out shot that a little action we ran to cut it to 3, right? It was a 6-point game, and McNeely, Isaac, came off of kind of closed the gate and got a real clean look, sort of rattled in and out, and it was right there. And, who knows? Again, they're going to make some plays, but as I go back to a couple of our defensive lapses, they're just little mini fractures, and all of a sudden those cost us in that part. I think the film will be very valuable to see, hey, look, we're gonna have to go there. You're gonna have to win. You can't say, well, we're gonna win when our shots are going in. No, you got to win games like this with soundness and toughness mentally. The head and heart got to be connected on the defensive end, and not just forget or just lose a little focus. That won't work. And so that's a great teaching lesson for us. And again, what a wonderful atmosphere. The crowd was great. Our young men played hard. That was, again, going to be there. But today, the tougher, sounder team on the defensive end won the game.
Tony, obviously 11 days since your last game allowed Rhys to maybe get a little bit healthier, but how much can you attribute the turnovers, the breakdowns, the missed shots to maybe that long layoff and a little rust?
I mean, I don't know. I thought, we had opportunities to prepare well, and we shot better free throws, so maybe that was good, right? But we've had games where we've had these layoffs with some of our teams, and I remember playing Villanova in here after a long layoff, and good games where we've come out. And again, the way we started, we were right, but they wouldn't go away, and a couple crucial swings, and then you're playing from behind, and we've done that before at Michigan, but not quite up to this point against that kind of defense. That's going to make you earn, and then again, when you get the shots and you don't make them, that can have a little bit of an effect on you. So you got to be, as tough as you say, whale blubber or whatever you want to say on the defensive end. You can bend, but you can't break. And I thought a few times at crucial possessions we broke with an unsound play that's not what we were doing all game.
It looked like Isaac McNeely was a good bright spot of the game. He didn't have no turnovers, I don't think, for 25 minutes. Big and one there late in the game. How would you assess his development right now?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's for a young guy to be in a game like that. I thought he slid his feet pretty well. There was one rebound that I don't know if he thought someone had it where, I wish he would have pursued it. We had a couple rebounds that were there, and we either quit on a play or we didn't get it that were pivotal in this kind of game when you're trying to get back to it. But Isaac did a good job. He sure did, and I think he's been improving. And, last time we talked in the JMU game, Ryan had a nice stretch, and I told the guys in the locker room after, the guys who didn't play, stay encouraged, keep working. And the guys who did play, we keep working to get better. But IMAC was pretty sound tonight, and, I think that's should give him some confidence to keep going at it.
Take three more, Preston, and then
Yeah, Tony, with Reese, is this viewed as more of a long-term injury, just where he's at? And then how does it change things for you all offensively if he doesn't have that same burst?
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's a strained hamstring, so my hope is, hopefully he'll recover well from this. That was good. He played 33 minutes and 33 seconds. And we tried to use some timeouts and all that stuff, and it seemed like he was more tired, but tomorrow will be an important day. Obviously, we have a quick turnaround, but with a hamstring or a strain like that, they just get better over time, and you just hope you don't get in a compromising position where you re-aggravate it. You're always a little susceptible, but those things can hang around for a while. All of us older people know what a pulled hammy is like and how long it takes us, which hopefully it won't, a guy in his prime.
Tony, you guys have been out to Vegas, had a big win at Michigan, then to come here, it's been pretty successful, would you say, this non-conference schedule? And then how do you make sure that, this team never gets too high, never gets too low after the first loss of the year?
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, you're not going to win them all, and this was a high-level opponent, and we wanted you play these games to hopefully have excitement, have a crowd like this, and to try to win, but you get a lot out of them. All right, where do we got to tighten the screws? And we talked a lot about that in prepping for this game because of what they did to us last year. And so you just don't have time. We're getting now into conference play. We've got 2 days, and we're going to a top, I think Miami's in the top 25 or whatever. So a good opponent and get ready to play. But I think obviously the guys have played well to put themselves in this position. But, I mean, that's done. This game's done except what we'll learn from it, and now step to the next one.
Okay, last question, David.
Tony, you mentioned mini fractures on defense. After Isaac misses that three when you're down 6, on consecutive possessions, they get a layup, then Walker kicks it out for an open 3. Then I forget who it was, Walker hit a really tough shot over Jaden.
Yep.
Did you think any of those possessions were those
Huge.
mini fractures?
Yeah, I mean, the one shot, the hard shot he hit, I think that one, maybe if it was well defended and the guy hit a little bit of a Dirk step back, okay. But the two before were breakdowns on our part. We didn't help a guy. It was just a little handoff, and the guy's got a little bit of a lead. We got to stop the ball. Don't stay. And then the other one was a breakdown of one of our principles that we do. It wasn't it was a situation. So those were those things that cost us, 5 points right there. And those were timely, but there were some other ones in there. And you're never going to be perfect in those, but you just want to, again, eliminate and have as few of those as possible in a game like this, and for us to be as good as we can because the shots weren't dropping. We were 6 of 22 with some pretty clean looks. And Ben was out of sorts today. He'll grow from that. But so you say, okay, you got to lean on your defense in those games, and that's what we weren't able to do in the second half for sure.